Well, there's been a huge reaction on social media, as you would have expected. I mean, we've got here a map which shows the 525,000 tweets sent today, so a huge number. And what's quite interesting is we can actually see some of the individual tweets that have really sparked a big response from Nicola Sturgeon from the SNP, you may expect that, but also from some celebrities such as Simon Pegg as well. So quite interesting. I can show you that one tweet by Simon Pegg that has really got a big reaction here. He's tweeted saying, apparently a number of impatient Yes campaigners have unbuckled Scotland and are currently towing it into the North Sea. So a bit of humour there. And it does seem like I can just be joined now by two guests here. We've got Rennie here and we've got Gregor, social media experts. So how big an impact do you think celebrities' tweets such as the Simon Pegg one may have had?
Well, I mean, there's influence, and then there's influence from people who don't live or work in Scotland. So I think that it all helps and aids the debate. You know, the wider and the bigger the debate, the better. But I don't think it's hugely beneficial unless the people of Scotland are listening.
One I think that perhaps may have slightly more impact is this one by Andy Murray. This has been the most retweeted tweet of the day by the Scottish tennis player. He said, huge day for Scotland today, no campaign negativity the last few days, totally swayed my view on it, excited to see the outcome. So a lot of people there thinking that this is Andy Murray coming out in favour of the Yes campaign. Do you think this could have a bit more impact?
So it's interesting because it came out today when the media couldn't report it, so the only way people would have found out about it is actually through social media. I mean, I don't know, the yes and no campaigns have sort of traded sportsmen and actors and actresses and sort of big endorsements. But I think, you know, people like Andy Murray, it's interesting, you know, as people are finally going into the polls, does that sway their opinion? But the campaigns clearly think so because they've spent a lot of time and effort to rally supporters and sort of celebrate endorsements.
Yeah, I mean, it's had a huge impact this week. I've had lots of people on my Twitter feed saying that now Hemon Hill's never going to be called Murray Mount again. So, you know, from both sides. Another person here who obviously is not a Scottish person, this is Russell Brand's Twitter feed. Scotland, be brave, vote with your hearts. You can strike the first blow for us against Westminster. So quite interesting there. Coming out again for the Yes campaign, it seems. We've also got someone else weighing in on the other side of the argument. This is Kirsty Allsop saying that when history looks back on this day, we'll see a Pied Piper with no conscience and a massive ego. I wonder who she could be talking about there. So it's interesting. You were saying earlier, weren't you, that perhaps if these are people who aren't working in Scotland, who aren't living in Scotland, they could have limited influence, even though they have obviously a huge number of followers.
Absolutely. I know that Kirsty Allsop, I think she has some business in Scotland, although I know that Russell Brand doesn't. But again, they've both got to be super careful, and you know, neither of them are political commentators, so we can only expect so much. But this is about the future of Scotland. This isn't about individual politicians. And so, you know, Russell Brand's tweet about striking a blow against Westminster, come May 2015, we may not even have the same politicians anymore. So
quite interesting. So I think what it does perhaps show, though, is that really it does seem that celebrities may have limited influence, but it really does show how everyone seems to be getting engaged in this Scottish referendum.